So this is my first time in this, and they got me first, so I'm going to set the bar really low for everybody else. Everyone's going to be really good. So my sidekick story is going to be about cycling, because that's what I do. My story is about a guy named Lee, who's a buddy of mine, and we decided we're going to go do this cyclocross race. We do a lot of bike racing. We probably do 20, 30 races a year, and we take it really seriously. You know, we're 55-year-old guys, and you might laugh at that, but we take it really seriously. And I got to set this story up a little bit with kind of the rules we live by. There's some unwritten rules in cycling. One of them is rule number 5. Rule number 5 is HTFU, and it stands for harden the fuck up. That's what we live by. And we, you know, at the other extreme of that is it's just a bike race. But we're these 55-year-old guys, and we take everything way too seriously. We get $5,000 bikes. We have bikes that are worth more than our cars. But that's what we do, you know. It's our way of proving how tough we are. It's the only way we got left. So we go to this bike race in Massachusetts, and everything goes well. We get there, and my buddy, my Sidekicks race is at 9 o'clock, and mine's at 10. So he goes out, gets started on his race, and he gets a good start, and I'm focusing on me now because this is about my race. So I go back to the car about 15 minutes before my race, and I figure he's done. And we went in his car. So we get to I show up at his car, and I see his nice $5,000 bike sitting there, and the hatch open, and no Lee. I'm like, the hell's going on? Where's Lee? And Lee is a real meticulous guy. He's not the type of guy that leaves his car unlocked, leaves his bike out. You know, we're in a parking lot of 200 cars here, and bikes everywhere, stuff everywhere, and he's just not that guy. I'm that guy that will leave stuff all over the place, but not him. So I'm kind of looking around, and where the hell is he? Did he have to go to the bathroom or something really bad after the race and took off? So I wait a couple more minutes, and I've got like 5 minutes more before it's time for my race. All of a sudden, I hear some sirens coming in. And I look, and then coming into the parking lot on the side is a big fire truck and an EMT ambulance. And I watch them pull in, and they pull in right behind me. And guy jumps out of the truck, and he's literally like right here next to me. And I said, "What are you guys looking for?" And he said, "Well, there's a guy that called, and he thinks he's having a heart attack." And I was like, "Whoa, that kind of sucks." And, and I said, "How are you going to find this guy?" He said, "Well, he's driving a Subaru and parked in the parking lot, and his name's Lee." And I'm like, "Lee?" All of a sudden, I hear on the other side of the car, "I'm over here, John." So all three of us walk around the front of the car, and there's Lee laying on the ground saying, "Oh, I feel like someone's standing on my chest right now." And I'm like, holy crap, am I worried. But then there's, well, I have a bike race. Sure, it would be bad form if I did my race and then went with him after. So I don't dare ask the question. So I'm like, "Oh, I guess I'm not racing today." So Lee looks at me, he says, "Oh, you should just go ahead and do the race. You know, it's no big deal. I'm sure they probably won't even see me by the time you're done the race. It's only 45 minutes. Just jump in my car after and come over to the hospital after." I'm like, rule number 5. It's just a bike race. It's like that thing on one, devil on your shoulder and angel on the other. I'm like, all right, it's just a bike race. I'm gonna load up the car, Lee, and I'm gonna follow you over to the hospital. So they load him up on the gurney, and off he goes. And I pack up the bikes, put everything in his car, and find my way to the hospital. I get there about 20 minutes after he gets there, I figure. And I walk into the emergency room. I figure, well, I should start at the emergency room, right? I don't even know what I'm looking for. So I walk into the emergency room, and I say, "There's a guy that got taken here from a bike race that was having heart problems. I was wondering if one of you could help me. Are you next of kin?" I'm like, "No. Just his sidekick, you know." And, "Well, are you family?" No, but I'm his ride here. I've got his car, and we're from Maine, and help." So she says, "Hold on, let me go get the doctor." So the doctor comes around, and he says, "You next to kin?" "No, I'm just his sidekick." I'm like, something bad is happening here. And they say, "Well, he coded twice in the ambulance on the way over." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so he brings me into to see Lee, and Lee looks like he's been hit by a truck. I mean, he was just horrible. So I had to make that fun phone call to call his wife and let her know what was happening and what was going on. So just to kind of finish on with this story, you know, what do you do? Is it just a bike race when you're 50 years old and you're trying to take yourself a little too seriously? Or is it rule number 5, harden the fuck up all the time? So I can happily tell you that about 6 weeks ago, this story happened 5 years ago. So about 6 weeks ago, my buddy Lee and I, my sidekick, went and did the national championships in Hartford, Connecticut, January 6th. And he finished, did a great job, and he's doing really well. So I'll let you decide. Is it rule number 5, or is it's just a bike race?